What if I told you the reality you know is one of many?
This doesn't make any sense.
Not everything does. Not everything has to.
How's it going, everybody? Today I'm reviewing the new film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Doctor Strange. Now, Doctor Strange is directed by Scott Derrickson and stars Benedict Cumberbatch in the lead role. It's about this guy who is this doctor. He's kind of this arrogant doctor, kind of thinks he's a little above and beyond everybody else, and he gets in this tragic car accident where he can't use his hands again, and he goes through trying to find as many ways to heal himself as possible, which eventually leads him into Nepal, where he basically needs to learn the mystical arts and the stuff with the astral plane in order to get his hands back in working motion and maybe learn a little bit more in the process. Now, I had originally seen the 15-minute sneak preview a couple weeks back, and it got me really excited on this thing. It's very trippy. When I first saw these first 15 minutes, I was like, man, there's some trippy stuff going down here, and I'm kind of into it. So I was really excited, actually. I got a bit more excited from those 15 minutes, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself watching this movie. It's not the best Marvel movie ever. It's not the worst one either, but I mean, Marvel, a lot of the I enjoy all their movies, in all seriousness. But this one was definitely their strangest, for lack of a better word. And you get to see this new dimension in the MCU. Let's start with the performances. Benedict Cumberbatch is great. He was almost like built to play this character. His character's similar to Robert Downey Jr. And speaking of Iron Man, this one mirrors Iron Man 1 the most, I think, out of everyone in character arc wise, because he is this arrogant guy, and Tony Stark was kind of like that way. But like I said, Benedict Cumberbatch is fantastic. Rachel McAdams is really great in the supporting role, and she adds, I didn't expect it, a lot of her moments, especially later on in the film, add to a lot of the humor of the movie that really works well. Chiwetel Ejiofor is great in the film. Mads Mikkelsen as the villain was fine. It's nothing new to the Marvel villain ensemble. Loki's still the standout there. Thanos hopefully will be great when we see him a little bit more, but it's nothing new. Mads Mikkelsen, he's great in what he does, but again, you want more from the villain, and I understand in this origin story that you don't necessarily need a lot from him, so I get that. But he was good. He was serviceable. But one of my favorite characters, though, was the Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton. She was fantastic as the Ancient One. Some of her fight scenes were just amazing. Her just kicking ass with these two shield things, and it looked awesome. It looked awesome. And speaking of looking awesome, the visuals were stunning. Some of this stuff, I know it's going to draw a lot of comparisons to Inception, but this is like Inception on steroids. The amount of like visual effects and stuff that went into this thing that made it look realistic too. It's like, yeah, maybe this would happen in the real world if this thing did exist. This is probably what it would look like. And it was fascinating, the way the buildings bend, and just some of the fight choreography is great, and I was really locked into all of the fight scenes. Where I think the movie was kind of lacking was, I wanted this movie longer because I needed a bit more explanation potentially of some of the more scientific and out of this world type stuff. And also the humor in the movie, there is some of it there. This is probably one of the more least funny ones, at least because a lot of the humor that tried to go for didn't quite work, I think, the way it wanted it to. It wanted to be funnier than it actually is, and I kind of noticed it. I know there's some Marvel movies that aren't maybe as funny as others, but like a Civil War, but I feel like I laughed more in Civil War than I did in Doctor Strange. So it's just kind of a weird balance, I think, that they will learn from, and I think it'll serve itself better whether we get a sequel or in Avengers Infinity War. I think he will fit right in with the characters, I'll say that much. I think his dynamic with some characters will probably be really great, and the way I think Tony Stark would play off Doctor Strange would be really fascinating to see. So there's a lot to like about this movie. Again, just some of the humor didn't quite work the way it should have. I would have liked a little bit longer, just a little bit more explanation on stuff. It does take a little bit to get going and get into it, and to get him to his destination in Nepal, but overall, I really thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Also, just to let you know, there is 2 post-credit scenes. The first middle one, the mid-credit scene, is the big one, and I recommend definitely watching that one for sure. And the end one is pretty good, again, for moving forward with the Doctor Strange lore and everything like that. So that, again, just to be warned, there are 2 post-credit scenes. And one last thing I will say is this one is probably the most self-contained Marvel movie, even more so than like an Ant-Man, because spoiler alert for Ant-Man, if you have not seen it, there is a mini spoiler alert. There is a mini appearance from another Avenger, so it kind of ties in that way. There is one little tie-in near the end that hopefully you will be able to catch on, where they mention something that will lead into stuff potentially down the road in Infinity War. But again, it's a lot more self-contained. And again, there's like one reference to the Avengers, I think, in the movie, but other than that, it's a very self-contained movie, and I appreciated that. And Marvel took a risk with this movie, and I think it paid off in spades. So with all that said, I give Doctor Strange a movie rating of an 8 out of 10. It's a solid movie. It's nothing. It's not one of their best. Again, it's not their worst by any means. And I think you can really enjoy this movie if you go into it. And if you're excited for it, for a trippy ride, you will enjoy this one, man. Like it's really, really exciting. Some parts of the fight scenes are awesome, and the visuals are just stunning. As for my enjoyment rating, I also give that an 8 out of 10. Again, for pretty much all the same reasons. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I think you guys will as well. So again, be sure to check this one out. Later on in the MCU, and the next one after that will be Guardians of the Galaxy coming out in May of next year. Then you get Spider-Man and Thor down the road later that year. So anyways, let me know if you're looking forward to Doctor Strange. Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know where if you have seen it, where it ranks in your MCU ranking. I'm not too sure exactly where it fits in right now. Probably around the middle area. But again, let me know in the comment section below. Again, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos each and every week. That is it. Now we'll talk to y'all later.